All right, pre-calc kids, it's been a while. I just want to give you guys a quick update on your calculator. You guys have been really grinding some of the stuff that guy has you guys doing on there. You're really doing it by hand, which I do teach, but after I teach by hand, I allow kids to use their calculators. So the calculator has a matrix button, and if you haven't found it yet, it's right here in blue. It says matrix. So that means you would have to hit, of course, second function in order to try and use it. So if you hit second matrix, they'll say A, B, C, D, E, and you can name all of these. And you notice I have a 2 by 2 going right here. And so if I hit enter, it will ask me, that's not true. I'm sorry, let's get back to it. So it's matrix. I would like to edit matrix A. Okay, so you go over, edit. Then it asks you, what do you want the dimensions to be? Well, this is a 2 by 2, so I'm gonna type 2 by 2 in here. So hit 2 by 2, and then you get a chance to type all of these elements in there. So you just hit 1, enter 2, enter 3, enter 4, enter. Okay, really, that's it. So matrix A is all set. So if you want to go back and hit the matrix button again and you would like to edit matrix B, you could. And I'm going to move my calculator because underneath there I also have matrix B. So you can store B in here as a 2 by 2. And it's 4, enter, 9, enter. It always goes across, and then it actually wraps around for you, so you don't have to worry about doing that. Okay, so now I have 2 matrices, and they're automatically typed in. If you want to make sure, you can hit matrix button again. You can hit enter, and it brings matrix A in, but if you hit enter, it tells you actually what the elements are, and of course, matrix B, and what the elements of matrix B are. So you can do pretty much anything you want with these. These two you can add together. Easy enough to do in your head. A couple of lessons ago, you guys were doing matrix A plus matrix B, which is, and it calculates the answer for you. And I think they also had a scalar multiplication, so they were doing like -2 times matrix A plus 5 times matrix B, and it calculates that for you too. So it cuts down on the amount of calculations that you guys have to do. Now you guys also studied the determinant of a matrix. Okay, so the determinant of a matrix, in this case, as he describes it, is that you multiply this AD minus the BC. So in this case, it would be 4 take away 6, which is -2. There is a determinant button in your calculator. You just got to hit matrix. So, bing bong. And you want to go to math, and you'll notice the very first thing is DET. That means determinant. Hit enter. Now you got to get the matrix A out. And now you got it inside the parenthesis. You can put that right parenthesis or not. Hit enter, and it calculates the determinant for you. So the DET, or determinant of matrix A, is -2. I believe the notation that he uses kind of looks like an absolute value. This is also true, is -2. Okay, so that is very, very useful, especially if it's a really big, like a 3 by 3, 4 by 4, etc. So you can find a determinant that way. Okay, so the determinant of B should also be pretty easy. Let's just get the calculation. Second, wrong button, second matrix. Get your determinant out. And make sure that you get matrix B. 2, which is the same calculation as a 24 subtract a negative 18 is 42. So for a 2 by 2, finding a determinant is quick in your head. But if this was a 3 by 3, there's a couple of methods we could do. It's a pain in the butt, but if you have your calculator, I would use it. Now, today you also learned about inverses. Okay, so A inverse is pretty intense. Okay, the way he teaches it, he does 1 over the determinant multiplied by some version of the original matrix. And there is a way to find that on your calculator. You just have to hit matrix A, and then you hit the inverse button. Now the inverse button is right here. It says x to the negative 1. So it'll put like a little exponent of negative 1. That means A inverse. And it will calculate the inverse for you. Okay. If you want it to be in decimal form, you could just same as you would for a regular decimal, hit math. I want it to be in fraction form, I'm sorry. And change the fraction, and it changes your entire matrix to look like that. So A inverse is nothing more than negative 2, 1, 3 halves, negative 1 half. All right. So let's figure out the let's figure out the inverse of B. So B inverse. All right, here we go. Get B out. Hit the inverse button. Hit enter. All right, so you can see it's a mess. I wonder if I can make those a nice decimal. So I'm going to hit math, change the fraction, and yeah, that's way better. 1/7, negative 3/14, 1 over 21, and 2 over 21. Okay, so again, he teaches you the way to do it. It's doable that way. It's really thought intensive, kind of a pain. So I wanted to make this video for you guys so you can move smoother through the material. The last part of today's lesson that it teaches you is when something has no inverse. And I think he did a good job of explaining it. Something has no inverse if you find the determinant of whatever it is to be 0. If you find that determinant to be 0, then you can stop. It's not invertible. And that should help you with at least today's stuff. I got the window open, everything's blowing all over. All right, sad to say, guys, I really miss being in class and seeing your guys' faces. All right, give me questions if you got them.